Hi there, and welcome to the first official episode of the Director's Cut, as we're calling it. It's a working title, maybe. We'll see if it sticks. But my name is Joe Sellors, and I'm the director of the Humber Cultural Hub here at the Lake Campus, and I'm joined by a couple of very special guests who I will get to in 1 second. But first, just wanted to set the table here and why we're here today and what we're trying to accomplish. And it's really, I'm on week 7 of this job, and having spent a long career at the City of Toronto for 18 years, coming to Humber Polytechnic has been great. It has been terrifying at times, not because of Humber, of course, but more so because of the change in life and so forth. So I was thinking that why not learn all of this together? I'm new to Humber. Many of you out there, whether you're a student, you're a community stakeholder, or you're a faculty member, you're an arts and culture enthusiast, or what have you, but some of you have really no idea what we're doing here at the Humber Cultural Hub. So I thought, I'm new, some of you are new, let's learn this together. So thought maybe let's just start a podcast. And one of the guests here today didn't know that we were doing video. So I apologize. It is more than just video, as you can see. So here we go. And this might take 30 minutes or it might take 3.5 hours. We're just not quite sure, but I know that there's schedules to be advanced afterwards. Kidding, not kidding. But so today's episode is called How Do We Get Here? And the premise of the show, and we'll see how this turns out. We'll see if people watch this show, if there's things to gain from it, if people like it. Would love your feedback, and I'll get to that later on in the episode here. But getting to know the Humber Cultural Hub is really just that. So these episodes are meant to be very transparent as we move through and bring online phase 1, which we're in right now. We're being broadcast from the control room in phase 1, right behind the recital hall, which is a very beautiful space, at 3199 Lakeshore in South Etobicoke, bundled into the South Campus, brand new building. And we'll get to some of the assets in a second. But it's really about sharing what this special place is all about. And trust me when I say special place, after, again, 18 years in a position in arts and culture at the City of Toronto, it took something special to pull me away, because I loved my work there. But to come here and work for these great people at Humber Polytechnic and bring up and onboard this brand new facility that has been in the works for some years, and we'll talk about that in a minute as well, is a special opportunity for me, and I'm grateful for the opportunity and I appreciate it. But let's, so again, this episode is really intended to share all of the stories, how we got here, what's going on, what's to come, and so forth. So let me begin. The Humber Cultural Hub, phase 1, as I mentioned, we're sitting here right now in the control center. Phase 1 consists of many, many different things, and I have a list. It's right here. I have some scratches here. It consists of piano practice rooms, 5 of them, rehearsal rooms, 4 of them, 8 specialized labs, individual practice suites, times 28. So those are suites where students can go, close the door, and they have their own space, mostly soundproof space with a piano or a drum kit, so forth. Individual drum practice rooms, 10 of them, 4 private drumming rooms, private lesson rooms, a digital lab. It's all connected to also a residence with almost 400 beds upstairs. Also, as I mentioned before, the recital hall, which is a beautiful, beautiful special space, 140-seat space for students to take class in, practice on stage, but also for us to lend out to the community for use and really open those doors to external partners. Phase 2, which will be coming online, hopefully. Things are going really well with construction. I look out my window every day and I see the steel going up, and they're getting ready to close enclose the space for winter so they can heat it and get all the finishing done inside. But due to come online in 2027, we hope to do a big gala in the spring of 2027 if all goes as planned, and move students in shortly thereafter. The phase 2, and people can correct me here in a second, but phase 2, film studios, Foley audio studios, screening rooms, and of course the major 400-seat performance hall, which is multimedia, state-of-the-art, beautiful space. There's no competition here in South Etobicoke, and I would argue in parts of Toronto as well, especially as attached to a educational institution like Humber Polytechnic. So maybe I'll just park it there and open it up and introduce my guests here today on episode 1 on how do we get here. So first off, 𝗔𝗁𝘁cie, who is, did I say that right?
𝗂𝗁𝘁cie.
𝗂𝗁𝘁cie.
That's okay. You're getting there. You're new.
𝗂𝗁𝘁cie. That was unfortunate because Gina is actually my boss, so getting that wrong.
But very forgiving.
Yeah, you're very forgiving, especially when I didn't tell you about the video part of today. Senior Vice President of Academics, reporting right into President Vaughan. Gina's a big deal and has been nothing but supportive of me in this new role, and also encouraging to really make some change and bring an art culture to the South Etobicoke Lakeshore campus in a new way that we're not used to around here. Second guest, 𝗂𝗪𝘁𝗁𝙁. Did I get that right?
You got that right.
Okay, I got it right. Senior Dean of the Faculty of Music, Creative Arts, and Design.
Media, Creative Arts, and Design. Yeah.
Right. That's pretty much what I said.
Yeah.
Exactly. Same.
Sorry, my mistake. Still learning all the acronyms and so forth and names. But combined between the two of you, over 50 years experience at Humber, I think.
Easy.
Not to age anyone, but
no, easily.
a lot of years. And I only bring that up because there's a ton of experience in this room and a lot of history that I would love to learn with you. I don't know all the history of Humber, of course, but these two have a lot to share. So I thought it would be very fitting to have them on the first episode, especially as we talk about how we got here. And I'm not talking about Big Bang theories or dinosaurs as human beings, or how we got here today at work, the TTC. Sorry, dad jokes like oozing out of me. I'm so sorry. But really about how we got here when it comes to the Humber Cultural Hub. Where did it start? Who thought of this thing originally? Who picked it up? Who ran with it? How do we get here today? And maybe I'll throw it to you, Gina, to start with that, and then we'll go over to you, 𝗂𝗪𝘁.
Sure. So there's so many ways to answer that question, in terms of operationally who was involved in the conversation. But I think I'd just like to back up and talk a little bit more initially about Humber's role in the community overall. And I think that what you find with institutions like Humber is that, yes, our core business is teaching and learning and ensuring that students are able to become career ready as they move forward. But another important role for polytechnic institutions like ours is to really be strategic and to respond both locally, nationally, and globally. And I believe that the Humber Cultural Hub vision was intended to address both of those areas. So from a teaching and learning perspective, from an academic perspective, it was about highlighting, and is about highlighting, the Faculty of Media, Creative Arts, and Design at the core. So looking at all of the programs that we offer in those areas. We have a really good reputation in that area. Our music program, for example, is known locally, globally, and nationally. And so it was really about saying, how can we step how can we take the next step? How can we move to the next level when it comes to being able to offer these programs in facilities that don't exist anywhere else and be able to take students to a new level of learning? So that was, part of the conversation. The second part of the conversation was, how can we do more as an institution for the local community, for 𝗚𝗶𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗵? How can we do more for Toronto? How can we do more for Ontario, for Canada? And how can we even have a global profile? And we believe that the Humber Cultural Hub has the capacity to do that for us, and largely because of our alumni, our faculty, and really the fact that Humber has always been a leader in so many different areas. We saw this as an opportunity to lead in this particular area.
And I would say, well done. It's working. Before I came to Humber, I always knew that it had a great reputation for certain programs, music especially, of course. But then arriving here and being able to walk the halls and see some of the action and the magic happening, I'm blown away, and I can't stop telling people about it. I say, no, this is special. You need to come here and check this out, which is the whole idea here. And before just throwing over to you, 𝗂𝗪𝗻, for your response, but in a world where arts and culture venues and spaces are highly sought after, diminishing, in fact, over the last 5 to 10 years, whether it's music venues, what have you, here comes Humber with this beautiful building. Like, it's incredible. So outside the core of Toronto and offering up a beautiful building for the community, whether it's the art community or the surrounding community.
And though programs may be diminishing or other venues may be diminishing, arts and culture never diminishes. It is solid. It's universal, and it will last forever. And so that's how we look at it. And yes, we know that the economy goes like this, and that there are always going to be changes in the ways in which programs are offered and buildings are built or not built. But for us, it was about what's going to be a long-lasting commitment that we can adhere to. But I do want to mention one other thing, just from a very brief operational perspective. Just before the decision was made to build the hub, we had been through a process at Humber where we were examining the number of residence rooms that we needed to have at Humber. And at that point, we were told that the number was not sufficient and we needed more residence rooms. And so we used the building of the Humber Cultural Hub as an opportunity to also create residence rooms. And so there are 321 new residence rooms built into this place. And if you go on a tour of the residence, I remember the first time it was still being built, I was wearing one of those hard hats, and I looked out the window, and from one of the residence rooms, I looked out the window and I saw the CN Tower. And I was like,
That's great.
Do you know how much you pay for a space like that in Toronto?
Yeah, that's true.
So along with all of the good reasons for building the Humber Cultural Hub, we managed to bring in that very real need that we had as an academic institution to offer more residence beds, because we do attract students from all over the world, Canada, and of course Ontario.
And and something like 𝗂𝗪𝗻 and I have been talking about, and 𝗂𝗪𝗻's idea, and saying this is what I want to do, like even like hosting conferences, like you're a turnkey, like in the summertime when the students are here, you're a turnkey facility with a hotel, if you will, beds, rooms, whatever it is. But 𝗂𝗪𝗻, how did we get here?
Well, this we started talking about this about 10 years ago, I think, and seriously, doing blueprints and stuff about 8 years ago. And I think it's building on our strengths. The reputation of music for Humber is huge, but also film, and also photography and multimedia. So we had everything here to create that very interesting arts and culture community. And so one thing that we have heard many times from our industry partners is they want to have grads that are comfortable with multidisciplinary work, right? So the building has been designed exactly with that purpose in mind. So we do have the film studios and the music facilities, but we also have the opportunities for post-production and animation. It's a real, very strong arts community that is designed to those positive collisions that stimulates creativity and innovation. So it will be very interesting to see the film students talking to the music students for scoring for their films, and reaching out to the actors that are going to be also here in this space and getting crews of multidisciplinary work. You mentioned the large performance hall, which is 500 seats, and it's been designed with multidisciplinary opportunities. For example, when we were planning these, we initially the thought was, okay, let's have 2 music halls, and say, why do we want to do that? If we have the richness of the programming that we have into arts and culture, why don't we create a place in which all these disciplines can thrive and can experiment? And again, at the core, we are an academic institution, and so why don't create this playground where people can really thrive and explore all different kinds of opportunities, right? So I love to see. I don't know where this is going to take us, but what we are creating a space for great things to happen, right? It's a place for learning, it's a place for experimenting, it's a place for bringing the community in, for bringing the industry partners in to play and see what happens. And I think what that provides our students is the opportunity to do things that they can't do anywhere else, and the opportunity to bring those skills back to industry and community later and say, hey, you know what, this is look at what we learned here. Opportunity for community to enjoy that experimentation, and for industry partners also to say, hey, what if we do this? What if we do that? Right? So I think the way it has been designed really is a place that will bring many interesting innovations and move the industry forward.
So well said, and something that caught my ear, and also for the listeners, the fact that you said we don't know where this is going to go, and that's one of the greatest parts. Like for me, coming here to Humber, not everything is prescribed, not everything is in stone. We have foundational strategies on what we want to accomplish with the new hub, but it's still very much a blank slate in the way that we can be agile. We can course correct as we go. That didn't work, let's do this. Yeah. And from my side, I think I can see where it's going. Like I think I can vision, I know we want to move quickly, but in 5 years' time from now, this place, I think, that performance hall will have it booked every night. People coming from out of town, high talent, interacting with students as well. And the piece about interconnection with industry. Toronto is thriving musically, film-wise, and lots of interest. But again, we got to raise awareness. Right? Yeah. Some people don't know what we're doing.
Sure.
Exactly. So we'll get to that for sure.
Yeah.
One of the things you and I always talked about was that we wanted part of the focus to be on emerging artists. We wanted, our students and other emerging artists from the community to see this as a place where they could come to learn and grow and perform. And having opportunities, and I don't even know what those opportunities would look like outside the classroom, but having opportunities for this to be a testing ground for people where they feel like they're comfortable, they fit in, and it would be simply a safe place for the creative artists to check things out and try things.
Yeah. And as we always say, like real live experience for the students is so important, right?
That's right.
I mean, you could be the smartest person in the world, but then you're left, into the real world, and oh, geez, I'm an artist, but I don't know how to run a business. I'm whatever. So I find that Humber's doing a really good job with that, for sure.
Yeah, and what you're saying is super interesting as well, because the new building is the new building. I always say the building is the building is the building, but the cultural hub is the Lakeshore campus, right? This building is the catalyst, right? And we have great facilities built for purpose, incredible state of the art and technology. Everything that you need is in this building. We have a whole campus, right? And we have a center for entrepreneurship, and we have 2 other faculties that also are part of this place. So, for example, we were half an hour ago seeing a project from creative advertising students that decided to do a film.
Yeah.
Because they had a boring assignment of history of advertising.
I love it.
And
That's
they
great.
say, how do we make this really fun? And they decided to go for a film.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was an accident. I think that is what this building is being the catalyst of. Say, hey, and they decided to screen it in the recital hall.
Yeah.
Why? Because I think that the message is going to other areas of Humber, right? So this is a playground for everybody, and I love to see. You mentioned before the business part of it. Well, the Center for Entrepreneurship is here, right? So how do we integrate them? And I'm sure it's going to happen. It started to happen organically, as we saw with this project, and that was not planned. That was a faculty and was like, hey, do we have this facility? How can we use it?
Yeah.
And then it will start to happen, and it will, from here to 5 years, you will see this as a very, very interesting place where more of these things will happen. And when you bring the community in, I don't think, again, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's going to be great.
And you took my line, Guillermo. I have it right here. Okay, so and it's a line that I use in any kind of introductory meeting when I'm meeting with a stakeholder, what have you. Is that the building is the building. Yes, it's labeled as the Humber Cultural Hub, but really, the South Etobicoke Lakeshore campus is intended to be the hub.
Yeah.
The entire site we're trying to transform into a destination for arts and thriving with arts and culture in a way that will draw business out of the downtown core and also bring people out of their homes here in South Etobicoke and have them experience, and they don't have to go downtown anymore. Like, we're going to bring it to them, to their doorsteps, and that, I don't mind even saying on camera, like, let's get, Humber does a really good job partnering with the City of Toronto on 𝗂𝗓𝙁𝙁. Let's get other organized arts events out here, whether it's Luminato, and be a viewing site for TIFF in 2027 when we open up the performance hall, and we have a great venue to show off.
And I think that the city has been explicit about that. Part of the strategy is to decentralize arts from the core, downtown core, right? So I think this is perfectly aligned to support the strategy of the city of making more art and culture accessible to a broader audience.
Yeah, as previous acting director of arts and culture at the City of Toronto, that's my line, right? Like, it was my line, I should say, and that is to really correct the disparity between downtown, the core, and the outskirts. So about 70% of the money, well, I'm forgetting the percentage now, let's say just 70% of the money is spent downtown, but 70% of the population is outside downtown.
That's right.
So let's correct that. So we're well positioned as far as I'm concerned, and we'll be making that loud and clear as we move forward. So I have a couple more questions.
Sure.
I know we don't actually have 3.5 hours to stay here together, but Gina, so I have notes here. It would be irresponsible if I didn't have notes, but from a higher level, bureaucratic standpoint, how does the hub align with Humber's academic model and goals and priorities?
Yeah, it reflects who we are. I would say that the hub reflects what Humber is all about, and that is certainly academic offerings, connection to the community, creating work-integrated learning opportunities. You see them all through the hub, and there will be more and more, I know, as we go through. But as I said earlier, it also reflects a vision, and a vision for a future. And yes, maybe we don't know exactly what that vision is going to look like as we move forward, but I do know it's going to involve community, it's going to involve industry. I'm picturing, busloads of kids getting off the bus and walking into the hub and going, wow, when they get here, and saying, what is this place all about, and giving them an opportunity to understand what an institution like Humber is and what it is that we have to offer. So the hub, in many ways, it's symbolic for who we are at Humber and in all things that that Humber has to offer. I must admit there are times when I think about the fact that the hub is here in South Etobicoke and is here at the Lakeshore campus, and I think we need to have more hub at our North Campus, right? We need to find ways to take that same feeling and that same commitment to creativity and show it at the North Campus and have opportunities to create hub-like events at the North Campus as well. Because, you know, I can't help it, it's how I think. I want the other faculties and the other parts of Humber to be as consumed by the hub and to recognize what it has to offer. And not everybody is going to be here. You know, the population at the Lakeshore campus is about 12,000. The majority of Humber exists at the North Campus. And so I think a lot about how can we find ways to take that and to engage, as Guillermo said earlier, the other faculties, but also to have bits of pieces of the hub at the North Campus.
Great. Guillermo, I have a question for you. And you talked a little bit earlier about industry. And my question is really about how, like, what are we going to be able to do now and in the future with the hub that we weren't able to do before as it relates to industry and connecting to industry, students to industry, getting them job ready, work positions, all of those things. Do we have an upper hand now? Like, what is the next couple of years look like from a, you know, compared to 5 years ago, let's say?
Well, this is the first time that we have purpose-built facilities for the work that we do here, right? So
So there was none of that before.
Well, we only
for the viewers, like,
yeah, we only had the Gordon Ragg recording studio, which was, you know, one of the top 10 students in music recording studios in North America, which is a great facility. But other than that, the rest wasn't here, right? We didn't have a proper auditorium to host events. We didn't have you know, soundproof booths or stuff. None of that happened before. Now we have a range of different facilities that can be used for industry partnerships, that can be, you know, rented or lent or used in joint projects that are bringing new opportunities. I can give you a great example with the recital hall. The recital hall has Dolby Atmos recording capabilities. That's something that we didn't have before. We do have 140 seats that can be removed, and you can sit a whole Philharmonic orchestra to be recorded there in immersive audio capabilities for film scoring. That's something that's brand new. That would be a great combination of our music programming with our film programming, right? We can have industry working here alongside with our students. It's a great training ground in the newest of technologies, right? So there are a number of things that we can offer now that we wouldn't be able to offer in the past.
What hasn't changed are the great faculty that we have that work in our programs. So that hasn't changed. What hasn't changed is, you know, the commitment to academics and to offering tremendous programming. But to see those faculty in this building and to see them, you know, performing and to see our students performing on that wonderful stage, it just elevates the experience for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And it goes without saying, you know, Humber is a business, right? We're in the business of teaching. We're in the business of, you know, staying healthy as an organization. I think the hub is well positioned. So there's lots of priorities, right? At a school like this, or whatever institution, especially these days. Post-COVID, things are, you know, still the system is still strained. There's lots of noise in the system. Priorities are priorities, and
Correct.
Top priorities from past are no longer top priorities. So now we have this beautiful Humber Cultural Hub. How does it, for you, and I'll just open up the conversation here to either of you, how does the Cultural Hub come along and become a top priority in the school?
Well, it becomes a top priority because it has the ability to enable us to meet our goals. That's what I would say on a very strategic and very high level. But there are many layers underneath that around how it enables us to to do the kinds of things that are important to us. It's a priority for us because we identified it as a priority and we're committed to ensuring that it will be the type of building that we know we are worthy of being able to run and that our students deserve. And yes, it's a challenge, absolutely. We're in very challenging times right now. We know that down the road, things change, times go like this, and I've been around long enough to know that you don't make decisions here that are going to prevent you from going here up higher at some point. But I also think that it gives us opportunities. The challenges give us opportunities and opportunities for revenue generation, opportunities to connect with other arts institutions, opportunities to connect with individuals that want to find a home and a place where they could rent space or have an office, things like that. So it's really about balancing all of that. But the commitment is here, and we're in, and it's going to be completed by the end of 2026. And we're grateful that we had the support to be able to get to where we are today, for sure.
I can hear in Gina's voice. She said completed by the end of 26. Earlier I said 27, early 27, but I can hear Gina's like, we're getting this thing open.
December 31st.
Both are right.
Yeah, exactly. Both.
That's right.
The building is going to be finished by December of 26, and it's going to be fully operational by spring of 27.
Yeah.
I was just poking fun.
And tours can start soon.
Yeah.
Very soon, I was told, the Phase 2 tours can start, and that's when we can really start getting people excited and bringing people through around Phase 2. So we're very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, and building on what Gina said before, as I said earlier, this is built on our strengths of our programming and talent that we have here. We have incredible talent in our faculty. We have incredible talent in our students as well, and support staff, and administrators. Right. So that's a solid foundation for what we want to do, and this is a place that really is aligned with the vision of a polytechnic. Right. It's hands-on. It's industry-driven. It's focused on lifelong learning. Is focused on the ability to work together with industry in moving forward and providing solutions for industry as well, right? So, yeah, I think it's a priority because it really supports what we do as a polytechnic institution.
And it makes me want to do more. It makes me want to be better. It makes me want to say, what else could we be doing in this space, in this area, what else could we be doing to really make a difference? And I think that is one thing that we always ask ourselves at Humber. The first thing we ask ourselves is, what's the impact on students? How does this make a student's life better? That's our first question. And the second one is always, how do we differentiate ourselves from other similar types of institutions? How do we make a difference, and how can we elevate that student experience through making a difference?
And with that being said, maybe I'll close us there, because that is such an inspiring comment to make. And for anyone watching, listening, I keep saying watching, listening because it's a podcast, but anyways, we're videoing it. As you can see, there's a high level of support from our executives here at the school, high level of support to make sure students thrive, faculty thrive, staff thrive. And the Humber Cultural Hub is a great example of what that sort of foundational motivation there. And in my closing remarks today, I'll just first of all say thank you. Thank you, Gina. 𝗚𝗂𝗫𝗁𝗏𝗏.
Great, you're learning.
You're a quick learner.
Didn't take long. It didn't take long at all.
𝗚𝗂𝗫𝗁𝗏𝗏, thank you very much. And I put this out there. There's two challenges that I would put out there. Oh, quickly, 𝗚𝗂𝗫𝗁𝗏𝗏, Stream with 𝗚𝗂𝗫𝗁𝗏, who is doing our video today. Thank you very much. He's here right beside us in studio. And Ryan, who is running audio, is, I think, in the back room there, making sure that the motion sensor doesn't turn off for the lights. So thank you, Ryan, for rolling around on the ground back there. So a couple of challenges for people watching and listening. Number one is I'm all ears. New director here at Humber, at the Humber Cultural Hub, new director at Humber Polytechnic. I'm open to ideas. Feel free to write me, connect me, call me, text me, whatever it is, in order to share some of your great ideas. One of which, you know, I was talking to Guillermo about this yesterday, the Pride flag crosswalk that's right outside the A entrance here, right outside the recital hall. You drive by it and go, like that, we need more of that. Like we need more of these animations, colorful animations that make a statement, but also it beautifies the space. And it makes public realm easier to ease through. Like when you're walking to a test and you don't want to be here, that just makes it better.
Yeah.
So feel free to email me. It's joe.sellors@humber.ca, Joe Sellors, humber.ca. And the second is in a continuous, when I'm continually trying to connect more with the institution, the school, with staff, and most importantly with students, who I haven't had a lot of interaction with thus far. If you're a student and you're watching this, I'm all for high fives. If you want to catch me in the hallway and you recognize me and say, hey, that's Joe Sellors, he's the director of the Humber Cultural Hub, and he has that show called Director's Cut, high fives are welcome. Even if you don't want to do like a physical high five, you could just do high five. Just say it. Anyways, not to be silly, but seriously, let's all get to know each other and build this thing together. So that's episode 1. Episode 2 will come shortly. We'll have new guests and a new topic to discuss, all focused around the Humber Cultural Hub. So thanks for listening and watching.